Okay, can we start with just a brief introduction to Hexnode as a company?
Sure. Hexnode is a company that specializes in unified endpoint management. We've been around just nearly 12 and a half years now. We operate in over 100 different countries with customers in over 100 different countries. We have offices in about 12 different countries right now. And one of the things that we specialize in is the ability to monitor, manage, and even more importantly, secure all types of endpoint devices, whether it's a laptop, a desktop, a cell phone, a tablet, a kiosk, doesn't matter the device type or the operating system, but through a single SaaS-based platform interface that's very, very simple to use. So in a nutshell, we keep organizations, enterprises, compliant in their infrastructure with these types of devices. We give them the ability to manage them, and we most importantly keep them secure.
Okay, and in terms of route to market, I believe the channel is important to yourselves, but I guess one of the observations about the channel is that many vendors still seem to treat MSPs, the sort of new, the new kid on the block, if you like, within the channel. They still treat them a bit like resellers, but that model doesn't really work. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of MSPs are treated like channels, from the standpoint of it's just another avenue to sell more licenses. We don't believe in that approach. We believe that the approach should be more enabling our partners, to be able to do more, to provide a full ecosystem of capabilities around, what I said earlier about Hexnode in terms of being able to manage, monitor, and deliver security to their customers, but in a package that's easy to use, that has a lot of repeatable capabilities, that works for them, rather than investing a lot of time and energy into trying to manage different clients and do different types of activities around endpoint management. So yeah, we see that, it's a different program. We have a full education program around our MSPs. We have a support program around our MSPs, and then obviously the platform, and we're continuing to enhance that platform to bring new and greater capabilities around particularly security and compliance.
Okay, so yeah, so you've taken a sort of different approach. You've built a sort of dedicated MSP program to support them, how they operate. And I guess at this point, it would be good to understand, you mentioned it's Unified Endpoint Management. Tell us more about, I think there's UAM for MSPs. So yeah, give us I guess, what it is, how it works, and I guess importantly, the benefits it delivers for the MSPs.
Yeah, so it's basically a platform that allows MSPs to deliver endpoint management to their clients. And what we've done is we've built a multi-tenant portal with universal logins, with universal policies, license management, license control, reporting, and more importantly, billing capabilities, so that they can actually report to their customers. So at the end of the month or the end of the year, there's no surprises. So everybody's fully aware of what the utilizations are. But we've made it a very simple and easy platform, and it integrates, with security that we've curated ourselves. We integrate with a number of secure platforms that we've made it easier to bring in more of the IT and security operations into endpoint management and to being able to see things in a single view. And then additionally, through our open and easy to use API, and MSPs can also do some custom development as well and integrations for things that are going to automate their back end processes and bring things into endpoint management too. So, we believe that it's a very full, scalable, easy to use platform for our MSPs and give them the ability at the end of the day to have very, very happy customers on their side.
Okay, and are you able to give us just a sort of flavor of how the platform's developed over time? Sort of where you started and where you've got to today with it, just to give us, some sort of indication of how you innovate along the way.
Yeah, sure. So we have been working on the MSP platform for quite some time. I guess we initially announced it, last year in 2024. It started out with a centralized database, centralized portal, universal login. It started out with some roles-based access controls for different types of technicians to be able to do different functions and controls for their customers. And then the other thing that we also built in right out of the gate from a security standpoint was multi-factor authentication and single sign-on. So those are important things to all have in that portal to just start as a baseline. We also recently included remote monitoring, remote management, patch management, and some of the recent things that are being added as well is more automation, because everything in MSPs is how do I automate things to lower the burden of operations on my team in delivering these types of services. Improve scalability. So we want to be able to have our MSPs scale to hundreds or thousands of individual tenants and make it very easy for them to do that and manage it. And we've also recently announced that we've added in XDR, extended detection and response capabilities, as well as DEX capabilities, digital employee experience tools. So that, again, it continues to make it easier and a more well-rounded, scalable platform for our customers. So the program's evolved. It's a robust platform, and we're basically doing everything that we can to continue to develop and support our MSPs to be able to scale and automate their businesses.
Okay, yeah, just picking up on something you said there. Obviously, cybersecurity is I suppose AI is the only topic that's perhaps more important right now than cybersecurity, although the two are not unrelated. But
Yep.
observability, funny enough, I've followed it closely. So it was once upon a time, I think AI ops was where it came from, and various ops disciplines, and now observability. And we're looking at things converging, for example, SecOps and IT ops. And I think you mentioned the XDR solution, so that's where you're bringing those two ops together. So just, I suppose, give us your observations on the convergence of these various ops and why it's important that you've produced the XDR solution, if you like.
Yeah, so we designed this to bridge the gap between SecOps and IT ops. The key thing there is, most organizations have multiple dashboards that they can go to. And what happens is you've got a little bit of information over here, a little bit of information over there, and everybody has their own little silo that they work in, but rarely do they have the ability to look at the same thing together. And with our platform, by adding in the XDR capabilities, we can bridge that gap and we can share that information and unify those organizations. Unified Endpoint Management kind of makes sense, but show them in a single dashboard how things work and then automate the response to any type of detection. So, we can see security alerts, we can see things that are out of compliance, we can see, things that are happening, any type of an incident response that's occurring, and then address it from that single user interface, with Hexnode's MSP platform and ultimately, the UEM platform that we have. So, we have that consolidated dashboard. So give visibility to all the endpoints, all the assets, everything that the IT team monitors and manages. We can provide that remediation. We can provide the automated detection and response. So, where there's suspicious activity or, any type of anomaly, malware that occurs on the network, it's something that we can address and address very quickly. We'll see it right away from the endpoint and then take action on it, either automated or alert somebody to take action. And, it's up to the person who's managing the system, which type of approach they want to go. We also allow for policy enforcement, which is very important. And across operations, it's actually one of the areas from a unified endpoint management where Hexnode actually really excels from the standpoint of most organizations have to use multiple MDMs or UEMs to manage the different operating systems or different device types. And one of the advantages of Hexnode is we support all of the operating systems. So you can be very, very consistent in terms of your operations and how you manage the different types of devices, as well as the security policies that get laid upon on top of them. So it gives you that consistency level. So you're not expecting different experiences depending on what the endpoint actually is. Um, Observability and analytics. So we're investing a lot in the reporting and identification so that admins can have clarity and control over, what's going on in terms of how their devices are being managed, how they're being used by their end users, how they're reacting to the different applications that are installed. And, ultimately we want to be able to bring, these disciplines together so that everybody that's managing, whether it's IT ops or SecOps, can take action, or even in some cases, it might even be a help desk. And then the other thing is, we're MSP or MSSP and enterprise ready. So it's the same platform, whether it's for MSPs or for end users or direct customers, that we sell through the traditional channel. So simply we're a command center, for all security and compliance for endpoint devices.
Okay, and for the MSPs, it'd be good to understand the sort of the engagement process from onboarding through to sort of ongoing support, etc. Because obviously the approaches can differ from vendor to vendor. So how do you sort of take the MSP on the journey, if you like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a team that's responsible for our MSP relationships, and they, onboard them as far as, being part of our company's ecosystem. We do the training. We have guidebooks for them to go through. We can do certifications. We get them up and running. We get their overall implementation, their entire platform implemented for them. And then we will go through, any training that's necessary in terms of how to onboard their clients, how to get their devices enrolled, how to create templates that can be used across different tenants, how they can, really streamline their automation. So we have a team of engineers that'll work with them, get that all streamlined, and then also be there as a safety net for them in case they need help. So we have a very well recognized for great success, our support organization. And then, support's always just a phone call away or a text chat, or, one of the things we didn't talk about is our AI platform called Hexnode Genie, where there's a lot of automation that can be done and help that can be created right from our own AI support infrastructure built right into the platform.
Okay, and in terms of your engagement with the channel thus far and MSPs, I guess in particular, and you mentioned MSSPs, how would you sort of characterize Hexnode's sort of profile within the channel? What do you think you've achieved, so far?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing that we're proud of, is, how we've grown that visibility with the channels since 2020. So in just 5 years, we've increased our overall exposure and revenue with our channels and MSPs by over 200%. So that's enormous growth in a short period of time. We really have a strong focus on building out programs that are going to be efficient for our channels and for our MSPs, where they can easily sell our product, use our product, and, want them to also be able to, make some money at the same time. So making it very, very easy for them to use and sell. So, we've done an awful lot from, the exposure and an investment from our perspective in how do we manage these environments and train them and get them certified. We've put up a unified partner relationship portal where, people can go in and deal reg. They can get access to Hexnode Academy, which is our training and certification platform. They get access to our support organization on the back end, all of our documentation, everything that they need to be successful. We keep them involved in a lot of our flagship innovations, like most recently announced our XDR capabilities. So they're involved in terms of requirements, what makes them better. We're always listening to what's going to help them be more successful in the field, and we'll go off and we'll develop it or put a process or a program in place specifically for that to make them successful. The other thing is that helps a lot is our industry recognition. We're continuously recognized by IDC, Gartner, Forrester, other peer organizations that will look at Hexnode and say, hey, that's a great product to work with. They have great support. easy to use. It's a very simple and easy to use interface. We integrate with a lot of platforms, and we really put security first in everything that we do. Anybody can deliver some basic IT admin functionality, but when you integrate it with security, like we were talking earlier, that integration, that bridging the gap between IT ops and SecOps and breaking down those barriers, we can be very, very successful. And I think I mentioned education and enablement. We do an awful lot of that, and we're continuing to enhance those programs. We just recently hosted our sixth annual, I believe it was, HexCon, which is our annual user conference. We had huge turnout there, and I think we certified nearly 100 engineers and admins in through the Hexnode Academy program that we offered right at HexCon. So it was a huge success, and we're continuing to get as many people certified and capable of managing a Hexnode environment and continuing to invest in those areas.
Okay, and that's perhaps a nice sort of link into my final question, which would be looking a little bit further ahead, the company's roadmap. I'm sure there are things on there that you can't tell me for now, but anything you can share into whether it's sort of further developing your technology platform and or obviously growing the company through the channel in other ways, just whatever it is you can tell me about the direction of
Yeah, I mean,
travel.
there's definitely things that I'm not able to speak to at this time, but I
Yeah.
can tell you that we will continue to enhance our XDR capability. Like I said, it was just recently announced. It's been all over the industry that we've brought it out. We've done a lot of demos and presentations about it. We'll continue to enhance the digital employee experience, the DEX modules. Some of the things that we're really working on, and I won't go into a lot of detail into them, is the smarter automation and autonomous endpoint management. So more intelligence around being able to take automated actions. Deeper integration with AI for self-recovery, where patches need to be occurred, to make something work, and it can detect itself that, that either a device isn't compliant, and these are the things that need to happen to make it compliant before it can attach to the network or attach to a specific application or use a specific application or have access even to a data store. So get very, very granular in terms of conditional access. We'll continue to enhance what we're doing in uh, our Hexnode store and app ecosystem in terms of how we manage that and do patch management, making patch management easier, more of a no-brainer for IT admins than this huge program that has to be managed, all the time, and in terms of making sure that not only our devices, firmware, operating systems, and hardware are up to date, but also the individual applications. So there's a lot of things going on there from a technology standpoint. From a company standpoint, we'll continue to grow. We're continuing to add to our engineering team. We're continuing to broaden our reach. We've opened up offices in the last just over a year in South Africa, throughout Asia, APAC region, Latin America. So we're continuing to expand our reach with resources closer to our customers and our partners and our resellers and MSPs and so on. So we really want to get as close to them and really foster that relationship even further. And the other big thing is from a customer success standpoint, we continue to post on our website, success stories, use cases. We have lots of testimonials from almost every vertical that you can imagine in terms of success and what success looks like for them and how Hexnode has helped them achieve that success. So I highly recommend to anybody, check out those testimonials. It's very interesting. Some very large companies, some medium-sized companies, small companies, but all very interesting stories in terms of how Hexnode, something that, a lot of IT organizations don't think a lot about is, how do I manage mobile devices? It's really a big deal, and the security of those devices is even a bigger deal. So seeing those use cases and those testimonials is pretty interesting.
Excellent. I mean, it's been fantastic to chat, and thank you so much for sharing so many insights as to what's going on at Hexnode and thoughts about the MSPs a bit more generally. And we've got AI into the conversation alongside security, which is great. So, Paul, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.